Hi, my name is Kelsey and welcome to my Sip Talk. I have been bartending in the industry for about 17 years. I think I'm a bartender by trade, but I started a company called the Tash Collective in 2016 to educate bartenders on recipes and food waste initially, but that has evolved into more all-encompassing circle of sustainability, so to include more energy and water usage, conscious choice of brands, produce sourcing, kind of everything that is involved in sustainability. Now that there's an increased drive and an increased awareness amongst the entire industry as a whole, so it's become not just like a concept on its own, but a part of everyday operations. I think there's several pillars that fall into sustainability, and it's not just a matter of using your ingredients properly in the way of like reusing things. I think that's just kind of a small part of it. It's waste management, so like where does your recycling go? Being conscious about, how it gets sorted, being able to compost. Those are kind of the key things, but also it's controlling what comes into your restaurant or bar. So where are you sourcing your cleaning products from? Are they harmful to the environment? Is there another solution that might be a little bit less harmful to the wastewater that your bar is producing? There's energy usage, so are all of your appliances low energy consumption? There's a lot of different decisions that have to be made based on how busy your bar is and whether it has food. There are now government incentives, grants, loans, things like that coming out in some of the more developed countries that you can apply for as a sustainable business in order to reduce your energy bill. So these things help with stuff like putting in LED lighting, for example, or like swapping out your dishwasher for something that's more energy efficient, or even installing something like solar panels if you're in a sunnier country or somewhere where that makes sense for you. These things obviously take a lot of money up front, but if you amortize them over the course of their lifespan, the cost savings for the bar is much higher. So those are some of the programs that I think make financial sense. And what I usually talk to people about is making sure you're having a look at your P&L before you start implementing solutions at all. There's a few solutions that can be implemented short, medium, and long term. I think short term are like the very simple things, like can we swap out for reusable drink coasters, for example. Medium term is kind of like maybe swapping over some stuff that's a little bit more difficult, whether you're like starting to change out your light bulbs, but you do it over the course of 6 months so that it doesn't feel like this huge upfront cost. And those things will constantly have to be replaced. So like you replace them all at once, you're gonna have to replace them again all at once, you know what I mean? And then long-term stuff, that's like big picture stuff. It's like figuring out the year-long financials of becoming more energy efficient. It does make sense to like slowly start swapping over or finding out where you're gonna pull budget from to implement some of those bigger, more expensive solutions. One of these things, there's like a little tiny composter that you can buy that's made for household use, but does compost like a fair amount in a 24-hour period. So if you constantly have that going, and obviously if you're not as busy as like a huge bar, and your budgets are tighter, that's a really great solution, because then you're gonna spend, you might be like, I think they're like $100 American. That's gonna save you more on, the frequency and what your waste management company is picking up. There's companies that are literally out there, trying to figure out solutions for bars. One of them is EcoTote or EcoSpirits. So they're not in every country. Basically, it's a 4.5 liter like big tote that you just refill the bottles on your bar with. So it's reducing the amount of bottle waste. It's like really awesome. There's also a chemical cleaning company. It's a refillable chemical company that does cleaning products in the UK specifically. I'm hoping that there's a solution that comes out similar to that, more on a global scale, but they just come by, they refill your like totes full of chemical, because usually chemical is like an environmental nightmare based on what it has to do. And then it comes in like 2 to 4 liter plastic jugs, which are not recyclable whatsoever. From like a recipe standpoint, and some of the more interesting things that I've seen different bars do is this turn towards local ingredients, where, you know, 5 or 6 years ago, there was a couple of bars doing it, but now you can go into like a lot of different cocktail bars and learn more about what's growing locally, which when you're traveling is so much more interesting. You're not going and having the same drink, you know, or the same set of ingredients that are kind of readily available globally. It's like you're learning about something new that's like specific to that area, which is super cool. Being able to travel and like see and experience the terroir of a place via, you know, a sustainable drinks concept, or like just a more creative way of creating cocktails is just like way better.
Cool.
Sweet.